I'm the IT profession and I work at MRM as the IT business partner.
My name is Willi. I work at Mega Marketing East Africa Limited, and we are the Willis.
We met back in campus. However, at that time, we were not dating. So that's how we came to learn about one another. But then later on, after campus, we came to meet in the marketplace. And that's where now our journey began in detail.
When we met in the university, he was a real bookworm. Huyo alikuwa library too. He was really into his studies. And I used to see him, I used to go there, but I was serious. I was not joking also, so I was also reading and all, but his was on another level. So every time you'd find him, anasoma, unaenda tu, and you don't talk much about him, and we were not even close or anything. I didn't know much about him. But after university, I went for an interview with a company in Nairobi, and while I was walking into the HR office, then I turned my head like this, and there was an office with a glass partition. I saw, who is that? That is Willis. I said, hey, let me go and say hi to Willis. I think he had the purple, remember that? Purple shirt. He had a purple shirt on, and he was taking tea with a yellow scarf. So I told him, hi, how are you? Fine, thank you. Interview. So that's how we became, I passed the interview and we became workmates and started working together.
Okay, a little flashback. That time when we were in campus, I used to see around, but my concentration was totally in books. I was broken when I was in the first semester. So I decided, let me just focus on my books.
Pole.
Hii mapenzi. So that's how I ended up now focusing on books in campus. So when I came out of the job market now, I worked in another company and started another company. So I and the HR almost started with a difference of 1 month. So we totally became a little bit close at that period. So it came a time when we were going home. He told me, I'm looking for people to work in the sales department. Could you draft a message maybe to your people in church, your church group or your campus group? I told him yes, so he gave me the message, I drafted it. Okay, I read it to him. He said, wow, that's okay, you can post. So I sent it to 2 groups. One, our church group at that time, and then also I sent it to the university group. So then I left it at that. So later on he told me, I've seen a number of applications from your team. I guess these must be from your groups because I can see they are almost related, because that time I was staying at Kasarani. So there were a few members there, but he told me I have seen another CV from your school and it looks impressive. However, the directors do not want someone who has not done majorly in sales. Now, but he told me, what? She's very organized, the CV is very organized, so I'll have to book a meeting and just meet her in person and get to understand more about her. So I got more interested and asked him, whose CV was that? She told me, Winnie Kenya. I told her, yeah, I remember her from campus. She was a very serious lady. So now, time went by. The HR was supposed to fly to Mombasa to do some interviews there because the position was supposed to be in Mombasa. So he had a delay in flight. So when he went to Mombasa, he was supposed to go in the morning, but he took the afternoon flight. So by the time he's reaching Mombasa, he couldn't conduct the interviews that he had already scheduled to do at Mombasa. But the boss told him, what, you had already identified some people in Nairobi. Why don't you proceed with that? So now that's where she came along. So they had an interview and she passed.
When we started working together, I did not see him much. I knew he worked there, but I didn't see him. He was up and down. Mara sijui he's going to a different branch. Mara people have technical issues, IT things, he's going to sort them. mara sijui the server is down, he's going to sort the server, sijui he's going to do what. So he was busy. I didn't see him much. So he's actually the one who prompted me. I think he messaged me, told me, oh, I'm really sorry. I know we know each other from another different place, but we've not been able to meet and talk or anything. I told him, it's okay. It's cool. I was not under any pressure. I didn't want to pressure him. I said, no problem. So we continued chatting and chatting and chatting. Then later on, after our conversation really went on, we were talking every day. But that was still while I was in the headquarters before I moved to Mombasa. I was to move to Mombasa for this job that I had gotten. But something miraculous happened. So one of the assistant managers from the branch of the company left, and there was a gap. They needed a lady to go there and replace, not replace the position, but the whole branch, there was no lady. So they needed a lady, particularly a lady to work there. Who's the lady? The lady is me. So that's how I didn't go to Mombasa. But now I was moved from the headquarters. Then I was taken to the branch. So me and him, distance again, ikakuwa kidogo mrefu. So we were not seeing each other again often. Yeah.
So back in campus, we used to serve in the Christian Union. So I could see her some time back when she's serving in the music department.
Yeah.
She used to play the drum sets, and sometimes I would join the choir. So at least she was not a stranger to me. So back at the workplace now, I have a colleague, but I'm a little bit held up with duties here and there. Therefore, I wasn't able to reach out to her because they were supposed to do some training. Then after the training, she would be posted to Mombasa. So one particular day, I just recalled, and by the way, I have a friend here back from campus, but I've never given her a call or even to give her a brief introduction of what happens here and there, the do's and the don'ts. So I decided, okay, I'm going to give her a phone call and at least make an apology because this is wrong. It was like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
4 or 5
into
months.
the job.
And I felt, I'm really sorry about this. So I gave her a phone call and told her, I'm sorry, I've not been able to at least give you some time here and there to introduce you aloud, but at least I've decided to give you a call and make it up for that time, because I felt that's awful, having a friend and he's already working there, but he doesn't tell you what happens here.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But now in that conversation is when things changed. Initially, I used to, after campus, I dated someone else and it didn't work out. So God asked me to cancel it. So I canceled it. So I had to stay now back again to learn from God, where should I go? Because I realized now if I use my eyes and my ears, I'll be lost. So I told God, I need you to direct me on this line because I don't know exactly on how to go. Before I used to work as a consultant, so I used to see so many people, so many ladies, because you're working at different locations, you're meeting different people, different companies. And at this time I realized I need God guidance on the same. So during this conversation, I'd stayed for like almost 1 year after that breakup. So I called Willi and I realized we started a conversation. Even this weekend there is a wedding coming up for she and a friend back in campus called Bernice. Yeah, Bernice. So Bernice is having a wedding this weekend. I asked her what are the plans. So the conversation began, and what's your perception towards the weddings and the marriage? How do you like your wedding to be? And she was very simple. Then I noted now my heart was turned now to another dimension because I noted I've been looking for such kind of a lady. Where have you been? There is a trigger you get in your spirit that this is what I've been looking for, because all along I've not had someone talk like that because I wanted simplicity. Okay, don't like publicity a lot, so I wanted something simple on my side because I had seen how people can go to the extreme and then you enter into marriage and then maybe you don't have funds because you used everything during the wedding. So now my heart now is tuned on a different side because now I've come to realize I've been looking for someone like this. And now, but back in campus she was dating now. So, so now I'm like, okay, now how do I go about this? So I decided after that conversation just to do some background research, what is happening. So I went back to Facebook, checked. I know she likes posting. But then I realized she never posted for a period of time. I know the guy. I noted, yeah, there is no relationship. But now I can't tell. I had to confirm. So because she was in Westlands, I waited until there was a Sunday we had an event at Mombasa Road. So when she came, I decided I'm going to strike a conversation along and drop something. Now it was during the season when a man went with an axe to the hospital and and chopped a lady into pieces.
I don't like.
So when we were talking, I told her, hey, but I don't want to be chopped by your guy, so I'd better keep my distance. So she was very bitter and very angry, and she turned away. She changed completely, even her face. She wasn't even smiling, and she terminated the conversation and just walked away. But now in my heart I'm like, okay, now that's confirmed, they're not together. So I decided, let me not communicate and just leave it at that.
So I wondered, where is this guy taking me with all this conversation in? So I just asked him, I chatted him, I asked him, and with all these conversations we are having, where is this conversation going? So it changed the lane kabisa, tukabadilisha totally. So akasema, let's can we meet up and maybe talk about this more intently? I told him, yeah, sure, you can come to my place in the evening, I'll cook you chapati, you come. And he had told me he loved chapati, and I know how to cook chapati, so kuja. So he came to my place, and hapo tu tukiongea, we were talking, and then he asked me, what did you ask? Will you...
No, we were conversing on the phone. We were chatting
during the day. Before.
Yeah. We used to talk a lot over the phone.
Yeah.
On the WhatsApp. So we used to chat.
Yeah.
So we used to understand, now what do you like? Now, from the last point where I left is that I came to realize I've been looking for this kind of a lady. And now, I never expected her to be the one. So now, it's developed an interest now from where we are talking about our friend's wedding. So what do you like? Like that. So that's how the conversation developed. But now she told me, you know, I was just at Broken and I'm on a sabbatical break. So I'm not ready to enter into any relationship. So I'm taking my good break. And I was like, now how do I break this? What do I do? So we continued to chat. And then one day she asked me, and Willis, what exactly do you want? And I knew. That's it. What else? I didn't have a chance to tell her exactly what I wanted. But I knew now this is the opportunity to put it in black and white. So I told her, what I want is that I want us to be husband and wife. I want you to be the love of my life and want us to work this life together. Now she told me, no, we can't handle this on the phone. Why don't you meet in the evening? So now that's how now the chapati date it came along that evening. Yeah. And that evening we talked more, and I told her exactly now what I told her during the day. But still, she told me, I'm on a sabbatical break, so are you serious about this? Because I wouldn't want to waste another time She had been in a relationship for 4 years. I guess that was the second course. So
Second degree.
so she wanted someone who is serious and who is not going to waste her time again.
Yeah.
And I told her I'm also serious. I've wasted some time back along, but this time round I also want someone who is serious. And that's how now she came along and accepted. But she told me, you're going to give me time because I'm still on the break, at least for me to heal and now come fully in. Answered the question what I wanted to do with her life, but now giving her time now to enjoy a break now was a bit difficult for me because I didn't know what to do. Now, do you give her time? Do you pull out? What do you do? But then a friend of mine told me, you can break that break, so you don't have to worry about her being in a break, because how long will it go? For a year? I didn't want to stay for another year. For 6 months? I don't know. So I decided, let's break the break. How do we do that? Now, we organized, it was around Easter, so she was a colleague also, so she told me, why don't you organize maybe a dinner and just invite her to come, and then once we are through with the dinner, she can go back, she can take an Uber back, just like that. So that's how now we organized it. But again, she was hesitant because of her past. She never came because during the Easter she had traveled for a mission to Marsabit. So now when she came back now, she refused that day to come. So I tried another time. Maybe it was allowed after a week or two. Now this time around it was a bit early. She wasn't tired as she had indicated, and therefore she came along, but then found us with a friend. So now we started talking, and now she became more relaxed about now us conversing and moving forward. And the journey, we never looked back. We continued to talk. The more we talked, we realized that the more we are getting more hooked to one another.
Yeah.
The more we're having a conversation, we realize whatever she likes is what I like. So the chemistry continued to grow. Yeah, until today, it's still going.
We were just that simple. We knew we loved each other and we liked each other. In my place, when he came for the chapati date, he asked me to marry him, and I accepted. I told him yes. So I was okay with being his wife and all that. So from there, we now went a step ahead. Like, I had to start calling my father. I called my dad. I remember that evening to tell my dad the news that someone has just proposed to me. And I called him, and there was a network issue. I couldn't hear him, and he couldn't hear me. So I'm like, hello dad, kuna mtu? Then the phone nakatika. Then again, like 5 times, until my dad told me, okay, kuna mtu? Amefanya nini? Anambia ameniproposia na anataka kunioa. My dad said, oh, okay. So I was thinking, maybe we can plan, tukuja nimlete, umjue, tukutembelee. He told me, okay, sawa, jipange, uniambie. Ambia sawa. So I cut the call. That was the most intense phone call.
She was very inquisitive about my timelines. Like, when are you planning to, now that you have asked me to be your wife, when do you want us to date? For how long do you want us to court? When should be our ratio be? When is our wedding? When are you planning? So I told her we can do our ratio. It was now towards end of May.
Yeah.
We can do Rural show in July or August, and wedding we can do in December. It's now still in the conversation. No plans, just like that. So based on that, when do we start seeing our parents? We can start with our parents, with my parents, then we can proceed to yours.
Yeah.
And now during that period, my parents separated. So now here we have a setback now. How do you proceed in this at such a time? Because where do you go? Do you go to your mom? Do you go to look for your dad? So I called my mom and she told me there's no problem, you can proceed. Then we discussed about it and we noted now there may be no future time that the two are going to come back together again, maybe within the speculated period that we had given between now May and December. So we have to move on, whether they are together or not, because that's their marriage. We have to make our own marriage. So we had decided to go home actually within like 2 weeks, within a span of like less than a month. It's when they parted ways.
Yeah.
So I decided, let me go home first and talk to my dad about it, so that now he can be able to give us the direction ahead, because you'll have to bring together the elders to decide about the rural show and all these timelines. So I went home and talked to my dad, and he was like, okay, that's good. However, I also need you to go and talk to your auntie about the same, and my namesake about the same. Now my namesake is the one who stood for their wedding. He was the best couple during their wedding. And so I went and later came back to Nairobi. So now I knew here we have, at least now have had a chance to hear my parents out, and at least now we can be able now to start planning. But now I had not met our parents, and I didn't know whether you're going to be accepted or you're going to be chased away. And so that's how we booked our next visit to Nyeri. It was on 7th of 7th, I remember. Saba.
Yeah.
So we discussed, and she was supposed to go and do the talking,
Yeah.
because at least she knew them better.
I'm supposed to talk.
But when we reached there, I was thrown under the bus.
So after I threw my husband under the bus, I sent him a message on his phone, an SMS. I wrote to him a message. I don't know how to start this conversation. Please help. Time was running out. We've been talking, eating, chatting with the parents, just having stories. But I didn't know at what point do I start this conversation of, he's here and he wants to marry me. So I told him, please, saidia tafadhali, I don't know how to start this conversation. But he really talked nicely, and he told dad and he told mom, I am the guy your daughter told you about. I'm the one who wants to marry her, and we are going to plan with our people. We come and visit you. So my parents were happy. My mom told him karibu. My dad said you're welcome, you're our son. So they were really happy, and it was a happy moment. So for me, I felt tension imeshuka at a very high rate, because it was the very first time nilikuwa nafanya kitu kama hiyo. I had never done anything like that before. So especially with my parents, and if it involves my parents, then it's a very serious issue. So I knew hapa hakuna kuturn back. So if we say this thing, there's no turning back. We are in, and we are in kabisa. If you want your ratio to be successful as a lady, you really need to be close to your mother, that your mother can give you all the info and all the details. So I remember that time we were really close with my mom, and we really talked. She even told me tell him to come with this amount of money. If he has this amount, so if harusi utapata, then the other things maybe you can come back later. So that's what we did. It was a bit difficult also. It was not as easy, especially because of the separation of the parents. Like, we were wondering, how are these two separated human beings, how are they going to sit together composed without any drama or any issue? So they said our dad said either he comes or mom comes. So we're like, how tricky. We've been left kwa mataa. So we were told tuamue the side we want to take. So tukasema, our mom told us with my blessing, proceed with the ratio. Don't let my absence take away the ratio from the joy of your event. So she gave us that blessing and she told us proceed with the ratio, and we did it. Our dad was there. He came with the wazes from Chuka, and they came and they spent time together. For us, we did all the events on the same day. You know, if you're in the Kikuyu tradition, sometimes you come, you have a separate event for introduction, then you go and you come back again. But now for our event, our parents in Nyeri were comfortable with us doing everything on the same day. So we did the introduction on the same day. So wanaingia, wanatoka, wanarudi tena like it's a new day hivyo until the event was over. So our ratio was done in a day. Yeah.
It's a bit challenging being asked to choose one parent. Yeah. You either choose her or you choose him. It's very challenging. However, now I decided because my auntie was there, so she took the role of my mom. And also my mom was okay with us proceeding with it, so it became also easier for me, because there are some parents who can tell you, no, you cannot proceed without me, I want to be there. If he doesn't want to be there, then it's up to him, or vice versa. But during this time, when my mom surrendered and told me, Willis, you can proceed with the event, you have my blessings, you have your auntie who is there, she's going to pray my part, so you can proceed. So that's how it became easy on my side. But also at the same time now, with the virtue that now mom is not there, understand that meetings at home are very difficult to learn. So that's when now we came up with a suggestion of us just going for one visit, so that now it also becomes easy on our side, because we have to cater for all the costs, everything that was taking place, you have to cater for that cost. So if you have to go 3 times, then it means it's going to be very expensive for us.
Yeah.
And also we're also planning saving also to answer our wedding, so we get to do some savings up to the time we were doing the ratio. Then from there we have also to save and do the wedding. So that's how it came along. But lucky enough, our parents accepted, so it was easier for us to go. Yeah, and the event was colorful.
Yeah, very colorful.
Yeah. From the moment we started courting, one of the things that struck out very fast was our unity and our agreement levels. It used to be very fast. So if we are discussing about something, coming to an agreement was very easy. So it really gave us an easy time to plan also for the wedding. Actually, we thought of a weekday wedding.
A weekday, Friday wedding.
Maybe a Friday in the afternoon.
And people come and they eat samosas and mandazi and they leave. That's
Snacks.
what I was thinking. That's what I thought was best for me. They take snacks and chai na waende nyumbani and they go home. Hey, but we communicated that. Hey, why do you want a small wedding? What are you people hiding? Hey, I was like, I'm not hiding anything. Are you sure you're not hiding anything? Hey, kapelekwa mbio. Sasa ikabidi, because of family and that pressure, tubadilisha siku from Friday to a Saturday, so that everybody can come and they can attend. So it was I can say the planning was very smooth, and we received immense support from our friends, from our family, from our workmates. It was amazing. I did not think it would be that amazing, to a point that by the time we were 1 week to the wedding, we had more than we needed in terms of finances. We had paid all the suppliers. All of them had their deposits, and all their other balances were in envelopes. Zilikuwa zishapangwa kwa envelope kaka, na kulikuwa bado na other money yenye imebaki. So money was a lot. That we had already sorted the treasurer, as in it was not stressful. So we were ready for the day. So I remember one time I was just sitting in the office and I was listening to this song, and I just realized how faithful God has been throughout this whole process, and how the whole process has been very seamless and it has been very smooth. Nobody caused any manner of objection, and nobody caused any manner of confusion. So it was a moment to really thank God about. So I sat in the office, and I remember tears just started flowing from my eyes, because I was so grateful to God for all these things that God had done to us as a couple. And I did not expect that. I had organized other weddings before, and it was not easy. Mnawachwa na deficit kama deficit. Mujue kwenye mutatoa hizo pesa. Wengine mnangoja hizo bahasha za harusi. Mufungue mulipe supply. But for our case, it was the other way around, and God had really opened doors for us in terms of money. So we did not struggle much. Yeah. Wedding day, I woke up. It was a rainy season, and I had really prayed to God that it doesn't rain. So I woke up in the morning, and we were in Komarok in my cousin's house, and we were sleeping upstairs. So I did the curtain shwa, na nikaona huko chini hakuna maji, kumekauka. Very nice. So I felt really excited. I felt very happy, and the clouds also looked very bright, and the weather was perfect, and that is what I wanted. So I remember the moment I saw my dad walking into the room where I was, because alikuja kunisalimia. He looked very good. Alikuwa ameng'ara. And I remember that thing really ilini amaze, because he took time to prepare himself, and I felt, hey, I'm really blessed by this. So my heart was so much at peace and really comfortable. So people were busy chini, nasikia makelele huko downstairs, watu wanapiga kelele, wanaongea, wanacheka. People are just happy. Said, hey, today is a very happy day. And my best lady was also there with me, and I remember at some point I started kushtuka, and she told me, no, calm down, everything is going according to plan. I told her, sawa, thank you. So the makeup artist akanifanya makeup, akanitransform, nikakaa something totally different, someone totally nilijiangalia kwa kweli, nikasema, hey, who is this? And I looked superb, and I looked totally different, and I really loved it. Yeah, my girls were ready, and even the small ones, wadogo na wakubwa wote, they were really ready, and it was really impressive to see that they did not give me a difficult time with the planning. Hawakunipatia a difficult time kupanga vitu. Wakiagree, walikuwa na agree kwa group, mimi ndiye approver, ambia sawa, iko sawa. They were like, this bride anasema sawa everything, what is wrong with you? Paka they started now fighting among themselves. Me, I'm not there in their arguments and all, but at the end of the day, they agree, and they walked together with me vizuri sana, and I did not have any difficult time. So throughout the wedding, the whole day, throughout the procession, everything went smoothly. I had recommended some friends of mine, the Hekalu family, to come purchase a live band, and they came. They worked very well, harmoniously with the praise and worship team for the church, because I was also serving in the praise and worship team for the church. So walikuwa na work pamoja harmoniously, and you could clearly see hakuna any issue with them. So now the funniest highlight of the wedding was our officiator. It was really funny. She's an amazing woman of God, lakini alihubiri, akahubiri. So watu I think walikuwa wamechoka or something. So nageuka hivi naona watu wanalala, huku watu wamelala kwa service, huku kwingine watu wamelala. Nageuka hivi nakuta hii bebako chonjo hajalala, na nikamtap, nikaanza kumwonyesha, ona watu wamelala huko, wengine wamelala others were asleep. But the service took a very long time, especially the sermon. It will take a very long time. But all in all, we thank God. At least the event was successful.
First, I'd like to appreciate the fact that our cousin offered to give her praise during that period, because it would have been quite hectic for us, because I come from Meru, she comes from Nyeri, so our wedding was supposed to be in Nairobi. So now you can imagine now having to go and fetch her from Nyeri, from her home, and come and have the wedding at Nairobi. So one of the things that really worked for us was that volunteering, and we were able at least to have a short distance movement of short distances at least. But now during that period again, that morning my team was late because they were coming all the way from Meru, so they got lost. And you know, with the new Nairobi now, like the outer ring road, if you miss an entrance or an exit, then you are done until you go to Pipeline, you go to that U-turn, you do the U-turn and come back again. So at least there was some time which was wasted. But my biggest highlight came in when my parents came, and now it's time for the wedding. Remember, back from Rorashio, now you are supposed to either choose one, but now what happens during the wedding? Now my mom decides I'll have to be in the wedding. So whether your dad accepts or not, now that's upon her. So I asked Dad, are you willing to be there? He said, yes, I'll be there. So we organized the attires for Mom and for Dad. So for Mom, because she was allowed, we used to work with her traced around Nairobi. And now because my dad was far, we used to send her the funds so that she can so that he can be able to maybe go to the fundi, have the suit he made, like that. To my shock, when I was asked where are your parents, it's only my mom was there and Dad was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't even tell where he was. Lucky enough, there was an uncle who was already ready. They kind of unsuspected it's going to happen, so he was ready to jump in and carry the day. So I had to walk with him and Mom. So my uncle took the position of Dad and the day proceeded. But now when you are there in front, I could see my dad at the bank bench. So it was very funny, but at the same time I was just wondering, but now why would you sit at the back and you had an opportunity all along? So it was funny, but at the same time it was a bit tricky, because guys from our society were there, from my own community were there. But we decided, okay, it's our day, we have to enjoy our day. And that's how we went along. And so we went for the reception. Another good thing that happened is that the caterer did us proud. We had plenty of food, so at least even guys who came late still had something to eat. The time also period in the afternoon was also well taken care of. There was no wastage of time from the photo shoot back to the grounds, reception grounds. It was very seamless. We had a very good team that was supporting us, who were coordinating the event behind our scenes. And Mark, in the morning we had forgotten to buy the sodas. Yeah, that's another highlight that we forgot. Yeah, so my fiancée is in the car and she remembers we have not released money. We have not even given direction for people to go and pick the sodas. So a lady who had come now, she was part of the committee and come to say hi to her. Now that's why we got the opportunity now to order for the sodas. And at least now the event, we weren't short of anything during that event. So in the afternoon, we had a nice time. I tried to really dance with my two left legs. My wife is good at that, but
Yeah. It was difficult for Babe to dance.
but I tried to flow with the move, with the wave of the event,
Yeah.
and I thank God because everything was colorful and it went on as scheduled. And we were also able to finish on time because we had a team that was going back to Nyeri, another team going back to Meru. So we had a nice time to finish up so that now the teams can now disengage and travel back before it was dark. You have been hanging out with the Willis, and this is our love story.